Cool. So, hello, am I audible? Can you please confirm in the chat if I'm audible? I think there is a delay also of like something. Cool. So, we'll be waiting for 4 to 5 minutes, right, till we start the session. So, so by then, by then you can just tell in your chat section that which college are you from, which branch are you from, or which year are you from, so that I can get a better idea about which year students or which department students are joining in. Yeah, hello, good evening, everyone. Yeah, we'll be waiting for like 7:05 till 7:05, and then we'll start the session. Okay, cool. I can see so many answers coming in. People are from first years, people are from third years. Great. I used to take live classes for DSA. Currently, I'm not taking them. Yeah, I used to take the live classes. Great. So many IT CSE folks I can see from first year, third years. Yes. Hi, hello. Great. It's interesting that people are also joining in from BAs and other courses as well. BCom I can also see. Great. BCom second year, nice. Also, can you please once again confirm that food tech, great, that if my voice is properly audible, can you hear it properly? Great, great, great. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, so yes, Abhishek, I can see that you're very excited for the course. And yeah, hopefully, if I'll be available, I'll definitely take more such sessions. Yeah. Nice. We have someone like DCA graduate coming in also. Great. Cool. So I think it's 7:05 now, and we can start the session. Yep. Great. Hello everyone. Hello Aryash. I think I pronounced your name right. Yeah, Aryash Saxena. Great. Right. Cool. Then let's start with the session, right? And regarding the sessions, I'll be taking this. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, feel free to ask that in the in the chat sections. So if I'll get time in between, I'll definitely answer your questions, and if not, then I'll take your questions at the very end of the session. Right. Cool. EXTC branch, yes sir. So cool. Good evening everyone. Yeah. So let me know if okay, I need to share my screen, right? I think you can see my screen now, right? Just a minute, there's a little bit of gap or delay between my live stream and this. Okay, cool, right. So let's get started with the session, and let me present this. Cool. So today's session will be on just a minute. Yeah, it will be on how to master data structures in algorithm, and this will be taken by me, Riddhi Suteri. Just a minute, sorry for this bad font. Sorry for this bad pen size. Cool. So today's session will be on how to master data structures in algorithm, and this session will be taken by Riddhi Suteri, that is me, right? So let's get started. And in this session, what is our agenda? What we will be looking at is that first of all, what is DSA, right? Secondly, we will be discussing that why it is necessary, why it is, right? And then we will look on like strategies, you can say strategies or roadmaps for completing DSAs. Just a minute. Yeah, roadmaps, right? Sorry about my handwriting, but yeah, I hope you are getting the essence of like what we will be discussing, right? So with this thing, let's get started. And okay, before starting the session, let me give you a quick brief introduction about myself. So I'm Riddhi Suteri, as I've already told you. I am a developer and a technical writer at Scalar Academy, right? And I'm also a GSOC admin and mentor. I've been I have mentored like such many students in open source journey till now. And also one more thing is that I have taught and mentored 1,000+ students till now. I have mentored students regarding DSA. I have mentored students regarding web development, regarding open source technologies and all. So yeah. And also, if you feel like asking any other questions, or if you feel like having any further discussion, you can connect with me in my further handles. Just a minute. Yeah, I think you can see my handles. Just a minute. Let me. Okay, let me place it here so that you can see this, right? So these all are my handles. These are my social handles. You can connect with me on LinkedIn via this, or you can find me on Twitter via this, right? So also one more thing is that if you guys are liking this session, or if you guys are interested for this session, you can hit a like button. You can subscribe to this channel, and let's get started, right? Sure. So let's move on to the next slide. Just a minute. Yeah. So let's start with the very simple question, and the very first question, that is, what do you understand by DSA, right? And I want you guys to answer this in your own language. Like, what do you understand with the DSA? DSA is data structures and algorithm. I don't want any Wikipedia definition right now. I don't want any hard-coded language right now. What do you understand with DSA? Like 1 word or 2 words, or maybe probably a sentence that you understand with DSAs. Yep, I'm reading the chat sections. You can write your answers there. and then we will move on with the session. See, I want to make this session interactive, right? So that's why I'm asking you guys to answer this. Anyone? Okay. So someone has written data structures and algorithm. Yeah. So this is the full form. Yeah. DSA used in solving problem. Great. An easy way to store data. Great. Data structures is memory / storage box. Great. That's another great answer. Whereas algorithm is a set of steps to solve a problem. Great. Way of organizing data in main memory. Data structure algorithm. Structuring data in computer is known as DSA. Great. Linked list. Okay, someone has written linked list. Great. That's a great answer. Dot. Someone has written dot. The way of organizing data in computer science is called data structures. Hi, great. Algorithms are arrange data pseudocode. Great, cool. So yeah, I think we have had enough of the answers now. It helped to understand in our communicative language. Great. A program with similar statement. Great. I can see various cool and awesome answers coming in. Now let's discuss what is DSA, right? Efficient way to store. Great. This is a great answer, Kunal. By the way, all the answers were great, but this is a great answer. An algorithm is a step of by process. Great. So see, whenever I talk about DSA, DSA is basically data structures and algorithm, right? So DSA is a, you can say, basic way of storing and organizing your data so that you can use it for better purposes. You can use it for person who works as a referral agent as a bank. Okay, that is another great examples. So I think you guys might have gotten an idea about, right? It's basically way of storing data or organizing it so that we can use it for solving problems, right? And when I talk about algorithm is basically steps or procedures that we take to solve a problem, right? Step-by-step process is also another good example for that, right? So this is DSA in layman term, right? Now DSA is cool, right? Also, what DSA I mean, now we all know like what is DSA, but what DSA is not, what DSA not is, DSA is not just a subject, right, which you study just to pass your semester exams. DSA is also not a subject, or it's also not just a tool that you, or just not a skill that you just work to get placed into big companies, right? It is way ahead of that. All is applied. Yeah, I can see great answers coming in. Yeah. So this is, DSA is not only limited to that fields, right? Now, if not only this field is not DSA, then where it is used, right? So if you talk about the broader perspective, right, DSA is obviously used in problem solving. It's obviously greater part of computer science. Now, if I talk about some real life examples of DSAs or where DSAs can be used in real life scenarios, right? So one example of that would be like, I'm guessing that most of you have used Google Maps, right? So what happens with Google Maps is that, whenever you search for a location, right? Suppose if I want to go to McDonald's, right? So from my home itself, so I type in the location, I suppose I type in McDonald's, right? So it will show me the shortest path available to reach McDonald's, right? So what this is basically implementation of, you can say, shortest path, right, which is a thing in DSA. If you have studied about graphs, you can see that there are some nodes and you can find the shortest distance between the nodes, right? So this is another thing, right? Suppose if you want, like you might have used Facebook, right? So Facebook, what happens is there are n number of people, right? And some people are connected to each other via friends or maybe via mutual friends or things like that. So what happens is each user in Facebook is a node and they are connected to each other, right? So there are n number of such real life examples that you can see all around your globe of data structures, right? Algorithms are also like, suppose maybe if I have to again explain it in a layman term, suppose if you make tea or coffee, right? So there are some certain steps to achieve that step, to achieve that thing, right? So this is basically, you can also say that it is an algorithm to make a tea, right? So again, there are some other algorithms that are there, like there are Dijitra's algorithm, there are Kruskal's algorithm, and n number of things like that, right? So yeah, so this is basically DSA, and I hope now you have an idea like where it is used. So let's move to the next slide. That is, okay, cool, this is DSA, and how this is used is also I know. Just a minute. Yeah. So now, why do I need to bother about it, right? DSA is cool, and why do I need to study it? Why do I am attending this session, right? So the thing is that the simple answer to that would be see, DSA is very practical skill, right? As I've taught, and as I've said earlier, DSA can be implemented in each and every real life scenarios, and also one more thing is that it gets you a good paying job, right? As you can see, as you might have heard from your seniors, or maybe your college department, your college professors, or things like that, you have to do DSAs, you have to do problem solving in order to get into big MNCs that generally people call as like farm companies, right? So these all things that you have to do, yeah, in order to get into companies, right? So don't just do DSA or problem solving just because you want to crack good companies. Just a minute. Do DSA because it's fun, right? Yeah, do DSA because it's fun. And also one other added advantage of that is it pays you good. I mean, it helps you in getting a job. That most of the people say by fang, right? So this is another motivation of studying DSA, right? So yeah, that's all. And now let's see the next thing, that okay, now we know what DSA is. Now we also know that why we need to bother about DSA is. And now let's see okay, it's DSA, but how to improve or how to practice it, right? Also, I am not directly jumping into how to improve this part, because I know that many of the students I can see are from non-tech backgrounds, or are from like initial first or second years of their colleges. So I'll explain this DSA part, like how you can get started with DSAs, how you can get started with problem solvings, and how you can prepare yourself to be interview ready, right? So that you can crack a good company and you can get a good job, right? And also you can how to learn. Yes, I'll be covering all these answers, like how to learn DSA in Python and all things like that, right? Yeah. So see, let me give you a quick answer to that. Is see, first of all, in order to learn DSA, or in order to implement DSA, you need to learn a language, right? Language could be anything, right? Now some of you will start asking which language is best for starting DSA. I'll cover that part later, but first thing is you learn a language, right? And also when I'm talking about learning a language, it's not like you need to be a master of that language, right? Like suppose if you know Python, or if you want to get started with Python, or if you want to get started with Java, you don't need to know everything, each and everything about Java. You just need to know that how are basic programs, or how are basic things written in Java, right? So that you can start using, or you can start implementing data structures in algorithm with it, right? Once you have learned the language, once you have learned the basics of the language, then you can start with learning some core concepts of JavaScript. Like, JavaScript, I said, you need to learn some core concepts of data structures, right? Okay, what are the different types of data structures that are there? Like you can study about arrays, then you can start learning about strings, then n number of topics are there, right? Once you have some familiarity about a single topic, right? Suppose you have learned a language. Suppose in my case, suppose I've learned a basics of Java, and then I'm learning a bit about data structure. So first data structure, suppose I've encountered like arrays. So I know about what array is, how to write simple array programs. Then I need to practice those questions, right? So because you can't just complete the data structures and algorithm wala part just by learning the concepts and just by going by it. You need to practice the questions alongside it, right? And also one more disclaimer that I want to give here is what I've seen many people does is they directly start solving questions, which should not be done, because you cannot just say I will learn data structures just by learning or just by solving all the questions, right? First of all, it's practically not possible you can solve every set of questions. And also suppose you might solve the question, but you might not know the understanding or inner concepts of what is going in that data structures, right? So please learn the concepts regarding to that data structures, then start solving some problems with it, right? Also don't directly start with solving lead code problems, code chef, or things like that, right? Start by you doing some simple programs on that. Then once you have done that, start improvising it, start doing some complex problems. Maybe you can choose any platform, right? There is also an intense discussion, or there is also intense debate about which platform to choose, right? I think many of you have here have heard about CodeChef or maybe Lead Code or maybe Code Forces or maybe Interviewer, things like that, right? So don't get confused about where to start it from, right? Just go at different platforms, see which platform are you comfortable with. In simple cases, like whenever you are a beginner, most of the cases may GFG or starting with interview bit will be the best case, because they have a wide variety of question, and the questions are like relatively less hard when it compares to like CodeChef or Code Forces, right? So once you have done that, start giving contests, start giving start discussing these things with your friends. So there's a basic flow of learning data structures and algorithm, right? So I think I've made some of the points clear to you. Don't worry, I'll be discussing each and every part in detail. So this was just a brief about how you can start learning the DSAs and all, right? So let me look into the chat section and let's see what people are saying. Like languages and all, data structure, C++ or Java is the best. Okay, for competitive programming, which is the best, guys? There's a voice hacking after filling that in. Also, one more thing is that you need to once the session is almost over, like around 7:50 or 7:45, you guys will be receiving an attendance sheet or attendance form wherein you can fill your email IDs and your details, so that we can know that which participants have joined till end, and you guys will be provided with a certificate, right? Like coming 3-4 days in your mail ID. Link will be shared soon. Okay, right. So after this, okay, about learning things and all, I'll be covering. Okay, let's move to the next slide. I think we don't have many questions from here. So next thing, let's move is okay. This thing is I've covered already, like how to learn things, right? How to learn about it. Just a minute. Where is my pen? I can see this part it is simple. Right, let's open this. And see, I've covered these things already. Like you start by learning core concepts or of any language, right? Learn a language. Now it can be C++, it can be Java, or it can be Python, right? These all are the popular languages that people use to learn these things. Also, there is, some people will ask, okay, my colleges are teaching me C. So is C good for getting started with data structures and algorithm? So C is, you can learn C just to learn some core concepts like what are pointers, what are, how are array implemented and things like that. But I would not recommend you guys to, go or complete whole of your data structures and algorithm journey with C, because C is a very limited language, right? You cannot, there is no STL support that you call standard template library, right? So I would, in that case, I would not recommend you guys to learn whole of the data structure and algorithm with C only. But yeah, you can choose anything from these languages. Like you can go for Java, or you can go for C++, or you can go for Python. And also, then people will ask you, okay, what is the difference between choosing C++, Java, or Python? See, Python is also one thing that most of the people nowadays are learning. But I will also say that if you are just starting out, try to do DSA and algo with C++ and Java itself, because Python is a relatively new language, and might happen that some of the interviewer would not like you coding into Python, although it is rarely a scene. You can comfortably code with Python as well. But if you're just starting out, you can choose C++ or Java for that matter, right? And once you have done that part, the one important thing that I want all of you guys to keep in mind is timely revise and practice these sessions, or these concepts that you have remembered, or concepts that you have learned. Because what will happen is there are a number of problems that you will face in this part, and if you'll like suppose do one concept and then you'll move to next concept without revisiting that previous concept, you will forget that. So keep this habit of discussing these topics that you have learned, discuss them with your peers, or maybe you can write some notes about it and you can revisit that, right? And after doing that, one important part is you need to give contests and you need to take parts in the discussion, right? Like suppose if you are a player, right, and if you do only net practice, so you will not have any idea about how the situations will be in a live match, right? What the conditions that you have to face, how to handle stress at that stage, because giving an interview is like playing a real match, and whenever you are practicing at your home, it's just like you are doing a net practice. So in order you to be comfortable with that situation, you have to give contest, right? So these are the basic things, right? So let's look at some questions and then we'll move forward. Um, Understanding the data is how is related, yeah. Great presentation, yeah. We use email address for promotion. No, we will not use your email address for your promotions. Which channel is best? Yeah, I'll share the resources and all in just a minute. Sure. Yeah. So let's move on. Now the heated part, right? Which language is best? I've already told you. There is no such thing. This language is best or this language is worst. You just have to be comfortable with one language and just start doing the DSA with that, right? And also, it's the best time, I think. Then I need to share this. You guys are asking about resources, right? How to learn these things. Okay, I know the basics of this thing. How do I learn further things? So see, the main thing about is each and every person have a different taste, right? Suppose I might understand a concept from somebody and you might not like his explanation, right? So in that case, I would want you to go over YouTube. There are plenty of such tutorials available. You can find Apni Kaksha. There's one channel which is teaching DSA. There's Anuj Bhaiya who is also teaching DSA. There's one more Abdul Bari. I think some of his sessions are free on YouTube, but you can find his Udemy course, which is pretty affordable. You can learn from him. You can also find you can also learn from GFG blogs or other tutorials point blogs as well. Yeah, right. So these all are the things that you can use to learn things. But one more thing is that suppose you have explored the things. I'm just giving some of the names of the YouTubers or some of the name of the channels that I personally follow, like Apni Kaksha, as I've told. Abdul Bari sir is a great resource. Then Sandeep Jain sir, who is from GFG, he also teaches good. And you can follow some blogs and all for a better understanding. But you guys need to understand this, that there is no shortcut or there is no single teacher or single blog that can teach you DSA, right? You just have to explore it by yourself, right? And about the language part, I've already told this, right? Yeah, space complexity and time complexity is also a very important topic. And also I have a roadmap ahead. In that, I've told that learning about time complexity and space complexity is a very must thing, because whatever problem you'll do, you'll have to keep in mind you are doing it with a better time complexity. You are doing it under a great space complexity, right? Because any fool can solve a problem, but solving a problem in an efficient way is what a genius does, right? So you just don't need to have this, okay, I have solved the problem, I'll be selected for the interview, right? Or I'll be selected for the next round. You just have to keep in your mind that you give the best possible solution for that. So how do you do this? You do this by learning the concepts of time complexity and space complexity, right? Now you'll say, okay, what is time complexity or what is space complexity? That I will not touch upon in detail, because this video will not allow me to explain it. But see, if I have to explain in simple terms, time complexity or space complexity defines how is your program or how is your code working given with the number of inputs, right? Suppose if you have given n number of inputs, so is your program taking like 1 second, or is your program taking 100 seconds to execute that, right? So obviously the program which takes lesser time is a better program than the program which takes the most time, right? Similar goes with the space complexity as well, right? So let's move on over the next part. That is, I've covered all these things with a little roadmaps kind of thing. How do you go about being a very simple guy who just knows simple basics of language, or who didn't even know the basics of language, to a person who is fit for the interview, who is solving great problems and things like that, right? So this is the basic flow of how you should go about it. And also one more thing is that I'm keep on saying is there is no hard coded thing for everyone, right? There is no one thing that fits for all. You have to explore. You have to just look which things are giving me better results, right? So these are the things that you can consider, right? Just a minute. Yeah, where's my pen? Right. So the first thing obviously is you learn the basics of a language. Again, I've told whenever you are learning the basics of a language, don't just deep dive into that language, right? Suppose Java is very intense, right? You can learn Java for like 1 month or 1 year and still it will not be done, right? So don't go in depth Java or C++ or Python, maybe whatever you are choosing. Like cover basics so that you can use that to so that you can learn lots of things. Yeah, thanks for that. Right, so these are the things, right? Then once you have learned the basics of the thing, that you need to start practicing it, right? How do you practice it? Achha, before doing that as well, I have already told you the importance of time and space complexity. Also, one more thing, keep this habit, like whenever you are solving a problem, keep in mind, okay, what could be the time complexity of this problem? What could be the space complexity of this problem? And can I improve this, right? So if you start thinking it this way, you'll have a better edge over the other candidates who just solve the problem and who just give it to the interviewer, right? This is a very crucial thing. This will play a very major role in you, right? So the next thing is okay, now you know the space complexity, now you know the time complexity, now you also know the basics of a language. Now you should start learning concepts of DSA, right? That I've again told you can yeah, Telesco is also a good channel. You can also refer to my Surgery something channel for DSA as well, right? So it is your quest. Okay, which channel suits me? I've given you some names, like I've given you some blogs name as well. So you can go there. You can look out for things and stuff like that. Also, one more key factor that I want you guys to that I want your guys' attention is whenever you are learning any concept, right? Please keep a note of that, right? Please start maybe noting it, or maybe after once you have learned the thing, you need to have some notes, right? So that you can revise these things after that. Because there would be no benefit if you have just gone through the concepts and maybe after a week or maybe after 1 month you don't know anything about it, right? So in that case, you need to have notes. If you have done that, you need to practice some more questions that possibly could be mixed questions or some questions which are not that much basics. So again, at this point, there is a very important thing that plays a role, that is solving problems on platform. Now, on platform, by what do I mean by platform is I think you guys might have heard about lead code, right? Or about GFG, as I've told you earlier, or about interview bit, or code chef or code forces. So don't just directly jump into code chefs or code forces and start doing competitive, like if you just know the basics of things, it will be a tough time for you. But if you're just starting out and if you just want to explore more problems, you can start easily with GFG or lead code or maybe interview bit. So they have a pretty, they have questions in pretty stages, like stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. And also, one more thing is whenever you are practicing problems on these platforms have interview specific problems, and once you have practiced like n number of questions, like people have solved 100 questions or 200 questions on lead code or GFG, you can show that too in your resume as well. Like, I've solved this much questions on lead code and things like that. I'm this much stars on lead code. I'm this much stars on GFG, things like that. So this will be a better, this will play a better role when you are going into interview, right? So this is one other thing. Right. And once you have started solving problems, then you also need to revise all these concepts that you have implemented in the problem, right? Because problems will not be like straightforward, like just print the array, or just insert an element in an array, or delete an element in an array. This will be tricky, right? And there are high chances that you will not be able to solve each and every problem at the very first go, right? You have to think about it again and again, and maybe after that you have to read a blog or read the tutorial of that. So things are pretty chill with it, right? Nobody in the world could solve each and every problem in one go. So what you need to do is, once you have viewed the solution, once you know that, just a minute. Once you know that, okay, this problem can be done in this way, you need to keep a little note of that problem. Okay, I can solve this problem with via this technique or that technique, so that you can remember it again, right? Suppose if this question is again asked in the interview, you can recall that, okay, this question can be solved using that part. I'm not saying you start remembering the question, okay, this question was this, so I need to make a loop and then I need to do this iteration or things like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, okay, keep in a note, like, okay, I can solve this problem with that method, or I can use this trick in that question, right? So this is the thing, like, keep notes of problem that you find tricky are. Then obviously after some time, maybe after weeks, or maybe after bi-weeks, or maybe after months, you can start revising those concepts and revisiting those problems. Are you able to solve this problem now? That problem that gave you a tough time earlier, are you able to solve that problem now or not? Right? So this is the basic thing. Now, once you feel a bit confident about, okay, I have solved some questions, I know the basics of the concepts of DSA and all things like that, so then you can start giving contests, right? Now, you will be asking, okay, what are concepts and where can I do that? So obviously, there is lead code. Lead code you have weekly and bi-weekly contests, which are very popular these days. People are giving them regularly, like weekly. So there you will find plenty questions, like one question will be easy level, one question will be medium level, one question will be hard level, and it will be time bounded, right? And also, if you are fond of competitive programming, you can do Code Chef, or you can do Code Forces, things like that. You can give contests on that as well, right? Code Forces. So these are the basic things about contests, right? So once you start giving those contests, initially you will not be able to solve each and every problem, right? That's pretty much okay, because solving these questions with a limited time is a tough task. But don't worry, it will eventually, you will eventually start improving. But that's all. So yeah, so these are the things, and once you start giving contests, you'll start enjoying it. You'll start enjoying things. Okay, I'm solving this problem and my rank is getting improved, right? You can literally see the graph of your progress. Like, someday it might go down, someday it might go up, right? So this is the thing. And with all these roadmap things, you can see that there is one or two important things. That is maintaining consistency and revision. Because if you're not consistent enough, you will not end up going at this stage only, right? You might learn the basics of programming, then you might also learn like complexity, but you will not, if you will not solve the basics concepts, you will not be able to solve mixed problem. You will not be able to contest directly, right? So being consistent is the thing. I'll write it again. And being able to revise is also a thing, right? So one more thing now, I want you guys to introduce with this thing that spread. Just a minute, let me clear this and let me okay, so spread is coming up with a bundle thing, DSA bundle, right? DSA bundle, wherein you will get the notes, DSA notes, plus you will get a proper sheet. Okay, what is this sheet? This sheet contains like mixed questions that I have already told, that are very popular questions, like popular questions or interview specific questions. And these questions are basically lead code problems, right? So that you can build your lead code profile in the meanwhile as well. So these are priced at pretty much, a pretty mere price of ₹49 only. So I think someone from the chat will also be putting the link of this buy bundle link. You can check that out definitely if you want to. If you don't want to buy this, it's totally okay. But just if you want to get proper notes and proper sheets, you can check out that link from the chat section and you can directly buy that, right? So I hope I'm able to give you a quick grasp about like what should be the roadmap of going from a basics of programmer to someone who is solving problem contest, who is maybe getting some ranks, right? Also, this journey, as simple as it looks, it won't be that simple. You will definitely have some ups and downs. Like someday you'll not be able to solve a single problem, maybe the same problem that you have solved earlier, but that's totally okay because it's a tough journey. And also the reward is like pretty good at the end. And also it's just not like you are doing these problem solvings or DSA just to get placed. It is also very interesting thing, right? Once you start learning these concepts, once you have some greater once you have basic knowledge of all these things, you'll start enjoying it, right? So this will be a greater this will be a fun session thing when you'll start solving these questions. And so if you guys have any doubt about any of these steps, or if you want to ask any further questions regarding this step, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer you. And also I think I missed some of the questions from the beginning. Also Code with Harry is also a good channel. Okay, someone is asking me, what topics are more important in DSA and what's better platform to learn it, right? So see, whenever I'm talking about important topics, right, let me clear this. See, वैसे तो each and every concept in DSA is important because suppose if you don't know about arrays or if you don't know about strings or things like that, how will you do other questions or where arrays or strings are required? But generally important questions may from interview perspective, obviously there are graphs, there are obviously trees that are more important, and DP is these topics are like most important and a bit of a tricky one also, but if you have command over, also whenever you are done with the basic questions, you need to strengthen your commands over graph, trees and DPs. And also for these things, I personally go through Striver's playlist. I hope many of the guys here might know him. He has a super awesome playlist on graphs and trees and DP, etc. Also DP ke liye I have one favorite person, that is Aditya Verma. So he teaches DP in a very fun and very simple way. I think he teaches DP in Hindi language, but for the guys who are comfortable with Hindi, you can definitely check out his playlist. He's super awesome in explaining DP concept, right? For the graph and trees, I've already told ki Striver is best. And web platform to learn is ki you can, if you prefer video tutorials, you can check out video tutorials. If you prefer blogs, so GFG is the go-to thing, right? GFG will never disappoint you. GFG, Geeks for Geeks, right? You can learn from there. Best way in some of the guys are saying Java is the best, CPP is the best. Every language is best. Some have it's best for competitive as well. Okay, so some of the guys are asking about competitive programming as well, right? So if you are a very newbie and if you just want to get started with the competitive programming, I will suggest ki don't directly jump into competitive just because some of your friends are doing it, because it is cool. Start by learning simple questions, start by doing simple concepts and things like that. Then if you like ki okay, I'm enjoying this stuff, then you can start about competitive programming. And about competitive, generally people use CPP because it's relatively faster than Java and Python, and it's mostly used. What is the channel name? Okay, channel name I said Striver has a good playlist, and also Aditya Verma has a very good playlist for DP. Right, I hope I'm answering some of them. DSA Bundle mein I think someone from the team will send the link in the group of those channels in the chat box. Right now I don't think I can send them, but maybe I'll make a doc, or maybe I'll collect them and I'll forward it to the team and they'll send it to the group, right? Also again, don't just blindly follow whatever channels that I'm saying, right? Because these are my personal favorites. I like these channels because I am able to connect with them. Maybe you won't be able to connect with them, or maybe you won't like their explanation. So it's about going through the channels, I've already given you so many names, right? Go through them, watch the tutorials, then go about key, okay, am I getting something from him, and then start following it, right? It's not like if there are some channels which everybody can understand from. Delisco is good channel. Right, what is the project will have weightage for the resume? What kind of project will have weightage for the resume, and which and in which? Okay. About you are saying like projects, right? Projects is are a different thing than DSA, but yeah, project depends. Like some people make really good projects with DSA, right? Sorry, DSA, with web development. Some people make very shitty projects with even using AI, ML, and blockchain, things like that. So it doesn't matter like which technology or which language you are using. It depends upon what problem are you solving, right? Or what does your project do, or what difficulties did you face while implementing that? What is the scope of future aids? Sorry, I have no idea about future aids. What is the role of learning scripting language and database while learning programming? Okay. So scripting language and database. See, while you are learning programming language, right? So programming language is a different thing. But whenever you are going for an interview, right? So then don't just check your DSA or problem solving skills, right? So since I am guessing that you are from computer science background, right? So computer science background have like some other awesome subjects like DBMS is there, then their computer networks are there, then their system designs are there. So they just want your knowledge about, okay, how well are you aware about these core concepts, because these are very core concepts, and these are that's why there is a significance of learning DBMS and scripting languages, because you want to develop something. So that is the thing. Attendance link will be there in the chat soon. Any other questions if you guys have? Just let's move to the next slide till then. Right, so yeah, this is almost about the end of the PPTs. Like, don't lose hope, right? As I've already told you, whenever you are solving problems, whenever you are learning DSA, there will be lots of ups and downs, right? You cannot just this can't be a happy ride. You'll solve 10 questions a day, and you'll do this for like any year, right? So just don't lose your hope. Another way to get yourself motivated is start peer programming. You can make a group of like 2 or 5 friends, and wherein you can discuss 1 or 2 problems daily, so that it keeps all of you motivated to start problem solving and to start solving the problems, right? Channel name may have tool Striver, right? And all. Striver, what kind of project will have weightage for the resume, and which, okay, that I've answered. Learning sector, what kind of project will have weightage? Project, okay. So if I go about projects, right, regardless of technology and other features that you have used, see, project should be something which solves a problem, right? First, you just cannot make a simple weather app that is already built. Also, you will say, okay, there is already literally everything that is already made, but you can try coming up with a project that can solve a problem, right? That is bit of a real world, and that can be used by certain number of people. Does companies ask to write a code in no, that is definitely not a case. Company will ask you to write code in a specific language. Yeah. Also, if you have stayed till here, I would like you to please subscribe to the channel, and you can comment your feedbacks into the comment section as well. And also there is an attendance sheet, I think, in the chat section. You can start filling it with the full name and email IDs, and you will be receiving the e-certificates for participations, right? And yeah, that's also you can check out the DSA bundle that I've told about earlier. Right, anything else, guys? Please ask if you have, yes, please ask if you have any doubts, so that we can take your doubts, and after then we can conclude the session. Also, there is a bit of a delay, I think 15 or 20 second gap, so that's why answers and all are not real time. Yeah. Also, if you guys have any feedbacks for us, like how we can improve the sessions, or if you want more such sessions in the future as well, you can comment down maybe in the chat section or maybe in the live chat sections as well. Any questions if you guys have? Please tell about importance of greedy algorithm. Okay, so yeah, if I talk about specifically about concepts like greedy algorithm, backtracking, recursion, DP, important topics to ask him. So these are again very mostly asked problems, and if these concepts or problems are not asked directly, you can these concepts can be asked in form of questions, right? So yeah, definitely greedy algorithms, backtracking, recursion. Okay, there's also one more poll in the section. You can answer that. Yeah. So I was talking about greedy algorithm, right? So definitely it's important, and backtracking or DP and all these things are also important. We can have a detailed discussion on that. Maybe after some time, maybe you can connect with me over LinkedIn or maybe Twitter. Okay, that's great. Important topics for placements, I think I've covered. See, I cannot just say okay, these topics are only important and you can just study and you can get your placements clear. It's not like that, but again, graphs are important, trees are important, DP is important, as someone suggested, greedy is also important, right? Recursion is important. So yeah, these are some hot topics that are important. Okay, so I can see some of the guys who said, okay, I have paid for the bundle and the PDF is not downloaded yet. You can contact with the team. Since you have paid, you will definitely get this. Definitely get this bundle. So don't panic about that. You can get connected with the team regarding any of these issues. Anything related to DSA or this thing, if you guys want to ask, then we will conclude. Anything, guys? Great. I can see. Okay, we'll definitely have more such sessions. Also, do let us know about your feedbacks if you have any. I think there will be a feedback session in the form itself. If you have any feedback, please fill it. If there is no such sections, you can drop in your feedbacks in the chat section as well, or maybe you can connect with someone from the team and you can share your feedbacks. We'll be happy to incorporate that. Right. Also, we are almost starting out with these live webinars, so maybe we might this webinar might not have been that perfect, but we are here to improve, right? So we will improve on your feedbacks. Right. Anything else, or we will conclude this? Also, if this session was helpful for you, you can yeah, that thing is under thoughts. We are thinking of conducting maybe bootcamp on DSA or maybe on web development. Anything that that will happen, we will convey the message to you guys. And also, if the session was helpful or if you learned anything new from the session, please write in the chat section. That will also motivate us, right, in hosting more such sessions. Do take more session. Lovely. DSA bundle is basically kind of a set wherein we have DSA notes plus we have sheets. The sheet that contains important problems for the interviews. Can we guys take a start? Yeah, we will look into that. How to analyze algorithm going backtracking analysis, or algorithm going to backtracking algorithm. Okay, so this is another thing. I don't think I can explain this great topic right now. But yeah, you can get with me over LinkedIn or maybe Twitter. We will discuss. We will have a chat on this. So I know to learn. Okay, so one more thing is many people say many people have this doubt. I also used to have this thing in my mind ki, okay, whenever I was in my first year or in my second year, I used to think, okay, learning lots of programming language, I know C++, I know Python, I know JavaScript is like very cool thing, right? And people will start worshipping me ki, okay, he knows so many language, but it's definitely not a thing, right? Once you know the basics of a language, or once you know the implementing things with it, you'll make a easy shift with any other language, right? So don't keep this in mind, okay, I need to learn 2 or 3 programming language, right? Learning a single programming language is also enough, right? Mark my words. How many languages do we need to learn? Again, I have answered this thing ki you can learn one single problem, like one single language, and you can get placed into your dream company, right? It's not a thing ki you need to learn 2 or 3 languages. Again, like if you want to do projects with different language or things like that, you obviously need to learn those language according to your need, but it's definitely not hard to learn or to switch between languages once you know one programming language, right? Yeah, so again, I think I've answered this. Any more questions, or we will end this? Quickly drop your doubts if you have any, or else we'll wrap up this session. Let's see. And also, I think I forgot the thank you page. Yeah, so that's all. And if you have enjoyed this session, you can obviously, since you are viewing on YouTube, so you can subscribe and you can like the video if you have enjoyed this. And I don't think you guys have any further questions, and we can wrap up this session. So it was really a great session. I really enjoyed interacting with you guys and solving your doubts, and I've also got to learn a lot of things from you guys. And yeah, it was a great session, and I think we can wrap up this. Okay. Someone from the team will end this meeting, right? So yeah, also if you guys have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer that, and you can connect with me on my socials. Great.